Hi guys, welcome to Katurik's Corner. So I thought I would go live real quick. I was going to actually do a video on this features of the new DIY box prototype, but I decided, you know what, let's just go live real quick. That way if I get any questions coming in about the box, I can go ahead and answer them at the same time. Basically, for the past year or so, I've been getting, hold on a second, let me lock that one down. For the past year or so, actually longer than a year, I've had people ask me if I would build these boxes for them or cut out a box for them and, you know, just mail them the parts and then they can assemble it themselves. And I was kind of reluctant to do that because all the instructions for how to build the DIY incubator is on the Katurik's Corner channel, and you know, the parts are readily available, whether, you know, through Home Depot or Amazon or whatever. But, you know, I've had quite a few people say, you know, they don't have the equipment, you know, for cutting out the foam panels or, you know, making a decent cut, you know, with a razor knife. It does get a little bit tricky. So what I've done is I designed the box pretty much identical to the original, with the exception of it's 2 inches shorter than the original box. The original box is 24 inches tall. This box is 22 inches tall. And the reason for that is basically shipping. Once you get, you know, over 24 inches, because you have to have a larger box to ship a 24-inch parts in, shipping goes crazy. So we cut it down to 22 inches. That way I can fit it into a 24-inch box and have enough room around it where it's not going to get damaged during shipping. Well, basically what I did was sat down on my computer and pulled up the CNC program and went through and made all the cuts available to my CNC machine so that it could, you know, do really nice cuts. I mean, guys, when you see it, I mean, it is so nice, you know, and clean. And I made it to where the box can really easily be assembled. Even I think even a kid could do it, because the way it is right now, the way it's designed, the parts will only fit one way. You can't really mess it up. And everything has been, you know, dado cut or grooved to where the parts will slide into the parts, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And like I say, it works. I think it's actually going to work a little bit better than the original, because being 2 inches shorter, that's a little bit less airspace that the incubator's got to work to keep warm, and it also may help out with humidity. You might be able to keep your humidity levels up. So basically, what we got, you can see the window is cut out in our door, and the reason I did that was because making the cutout for the size plexiglass that I can order for this, you guys don't have to worry about cutting plexiglass. You don't have to worry about making your ledge in here for the window to sit up against. But it's going to come with a piece of plexiglass that'll slide right in. All you got to do is take a little bit of acrylic caulk, get a tube of acrylic caulk, run a bead around the edge of it, and your window's in and you're done. So that's going to make it real easy. On the inside, I don't know how well you can see that. Again, it's the exact same incubator that is on the channel. We've got our heat chamber with the cutouts. We've got our lower heat chamber feed, rails for your turners. Now these aren't finished. I got to put a wood strip along the top of this. That's going to help the turners slide in and out, and your hatching basket slide in and out. But everything was designed to be real simple for you guys to assemble it. I got my computer over here, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat, and I'll try to keep an eye on that as I'm talking here. But basically, the fans that I use are the Arctic F8 fans. The cutouts on the back of the unit, let me show you that real quick. The cutouts here are made for the Arctic F8 fans, or actually any 3-inch fan opening will work. I did not pre-drill the holes for these, and the reason is I don't know what fans you guys are going to order. If you order the F8 fans, what I do is I mount the 2 fans together with a piece of wire. There's holes, you know, on each side. I run a piece of wire through there, same on the bottom, and then I just use the outer 4 holes to mount the fans on the back of the board. But you can see also on the back, this is actually the back of the incubator here. And you see these channels here? That's where your, this is not the right one, but I'm going to show you how it fits. That's where your side pieces slide into. You slide them into the slot, you run a little bead of glue, and then you put your part in, and it's not going anywhere. This incubator doesn't really need to be screwed together like we did on the DIY box on the channel, because everything is, you know, dado cuts. It slides in, a little bit of PL 300 foam glue, and you're good to go. These parts here, like this is the entrance feed for the air channel. All these parts will pop right out. They just have, you can see like little tabs right here that kind of hold them in. They'll all just pop right out, and you're good to go. The top of the incubator already has the cutouts for the light receptacles. Just feed it up through the bottom. Run a bead of glue around this, and then feed it up through the bottom, and you're good to go on that. The ventilation holes have already been pre-drilled. You don't have to worry. That's one of the questions I get, you know, on the channel all the time is how many ventilation holes and what's the placement on them. So I actually went ahead and placed them where they need to be, the appropriate size and everything. You'll see the top has a dado cut here, dado cut here. You'll just stand your wall, actually it's easier to do it on the side. Stand your wall up here next to it, run a bead of glue, and you're good to go there. This is one of the side pieces. These are your 2 channels for your egg turners, or your egg turners or your hatching baskets. This channel here is for the bottom of the heat chamber, and then here's the faceplate of the heat chamber cut out. So once you've got your bottom in, this will go basically like that. Anyhow, like I said, I made it so simple that I think a kid could put it together. It's not that big of a deal. The only part, like I said, the only part that you might not really have an issue with, but is lining up your fan. Now you see how this whole thing kind of slid right into that groove? Now none of this is glued together because I'm going to be doing an assembly video pretty soon, and I want to use this one as the demo model for the assembly. But basically all you're going to do is once you've got your 2 fans screwed together, you'll take them, set them up over the hole, drill 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, run your bolts through it, put a nut on the other side, and you're good to go. Let's see what else we got. And like I say, everything's all cut out. It's nice and clean cut out. So there's no jagged edges anywhere. So, and I'm trying not to make this sound like a sales video, because that's not what it is. It's basically, I just want to show some of the features of the DIY box, the improved DIY box, because I wish I had a CNC machine when I built the first ones, because you know, it makes it so much nicer. The cuts are clean, everything is, your channels are right on the money. I mean, everything fits nice and tight. And like I said, I think, you know, a kid could put one of these things together. You know, it's basically set your bottom down, stand your 2 sides up on it, put your top on it, your box is done. Glue your back on, and then the doors, oh, that was another thing I didn't mention. The, around the doors on both sides, we have wood trim. that glues to the side of the door, and also a piece that glues to the side of the box itself. What that does is not only does it strengthen up the front of the incubator, but it gives you something to screw your hinges to on each side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all that pre-cut for you. You'll have the wood that glues on top of these rails inside, right here. That way when you're sliding your turner trays in and out, or your hatching baskets in and out, you're not going to tear up this foam. So I'm hoping to have the kits available and ready to ship first part of next week. If you really want to get in on one, if you want to email me at terry@turnerscorner.com or message me over on Facebook and put in a pre-order. And you got to pay for it right up front because I don't have it set up on the website. But once I do, any of the pre-orders, they will be the first ones to ship. I would like to get as many as I could shipped out before Christmas, the Christmas rush, because I know, I already have 2 people that want to buy them as gifts for their spouse. So I also want to show you, okay, the incubator, as far as size and number of eggs that it'll hold, quail eggs, I use the little giant turners. Hold on one second, let me grab one for you. The incubator was sized to fit these little giant turners. Each one of these turners holds 120 eggs. So if you've got 2 in the box, you can incubate 240 eggs at a time. I've done it several times in my other box without no problem. Now that's something that you are going to have to determine what you want to use for a turner. I'm gonna on the order page, I'm going to have, or actually it'll probably more or less be on the build page, the assembly page. I'm going to have links to all the parts that I recommend for the incubator. Like I said, it's coming with the glass for the door. It's coming with the light sockets and the wood for the foam. The only thing it's not going to come with, it's not going to come with a regulator. It's not going to come with the fans because, one, I don't know what kind of fans you want to use, whether you want to use 12 volt or 120 volt. The regulator, there's so many different regulators out there. I use the Inkbird. I've always had a lot of the 12 volt Inkbird. It's always worked well for me. As a matter of fact, that incubator over there is 3+ years old, at least 3 years old, and it still has the original Inkbird on it, and it's still working fine. Haven't had no issues with it. So let me go over here and see what we've got as far as questions real quick. Amanda says, morning Terry, so excited about the incubator kit. Cool. Practical Junk says, inspire me to working on an incubator design. Never thought to watch your build. Shake my head. Yeah. Amanda says, question, what parts will we need to add to it? Okay. Obviously, the egg turners. This style egg turner is available at pretty much every Tractor Supply carries them. But you can use a different style egg turner as long as it will fit within a 16-inch, the dimensions are 16 inches wide and 18 inches deep. You can use any other egg turner you want. So you're going to need an egg turner, you're going to need your fans, and you're going to, well, you don't have to have the egg turner. Some people don't use egg turners. Some people, hatch out of a hatching tray, don't turn the eggs at all, or hand turn. So you're going to need the regulator. And I had one here somewhere. I don't know where it went. You're going to need your fans. Like I said, 2 Arctic F8 fans. And these are the silent fans. I mean, they're really quiet. $15 for 2 of them. So it's $15 for your fans. Regulators another 15 or 20 bucks for the Inkbird, the one that I use. What else do you need? Light bulbs. Get them at Walmart for $5 for a pack of 4. I recommend using the 75 watt halogens. Those work perfect. You can also, if you don't want to use the light bulbs or You can't find the halogens, which it seems to me like they're getting harder to find, but Walmart's always had them. You can order them on Amazon too. But you can use the 60 watt reptile heating bulb, the ceramic heating bulb. That will work just fine. The only thing is, if you're going to use those, I would advise firing up the incubator 24 hours early, just to get the ceramics up to temperature and get everything warmed up, because it takes longer for the ceramic to heat up. It also takes longer for them to cool down, and you can run into an issue to where the regulator shuts it off at, say, 98 degrees, or I'm sorry, shuts it off at 99 degrees, and because those ceramic heaters hold heat so long that it actually gets up close to 100 before it starts dropping down. That's why I don't use them. Some people, that's strictly all they use, and they said they've had good luck with them. So, that's going to be your call. My recommendation is the 75 watt halogen, which is a 52 watt equivalent if you can find incandescents. Good luck on that one. All right, let me see if we got anything else over here. So anyhow, yeah, egg turner, that's optional, that's your call. But to get the incubator working, you're going to need regulator, fans, and light bulbs. That's pretty much it. Lori Straubel says, these are really nice. I know for a fact because I have one, and they increase the hatch rate. Yeah, that was another thing, guys. I want to say that this incubator works very well. I mean, I would compare it, once you've got it set up and you've got it tweaked to where it works for your location. I've had, hatch rates as high as, I actually had one hatch rate at 100%, but that was on my eggs. But on an average, even on shipped eggs, I'm still getting 50, 60, 70%, just depending on the condition of the egg. So the incubator does a good job. The electrical parts, that's a good, who was that? Fawn Taylor says, are you going to add a list of all the electrical parts? What I'm thinking of doing is, if I do decide to do a second kit, this is going to be the bare bones kit. This is going to be the kit that is just the foam, the window, and these things. I'm thinking of doing a kit that's got everything that you need, which will be the regulator, the stuff I just mentioned, except for the turners. I'm not going to go out and try to source turners, but it'll be the regulator and the fans. Oh, and a wiring harness to where you can wire up the Inkbird. The wiring harness will be all put together, cut the length, everything. All you've got to do is put it in the incubator, turn the screws down, wire it up to these wires on top for the light source and your plug, whatever you're going to use for a power source cord. I use an old extension cord, just cut the end off, and it works just fine. But I haven't made up my mind yet whether I really want to get into doing a full kit. I might just leave this as the bare bones kit, let you guys decide what you want to do with the rest of it. And the main reason for that is because I've heard from so many people they've had troubles cutting out the foam, getting everything to fit right. A lot of people don't have a table saw, so they've got to cut by hand. It's kind of hard. So doing it this way, everything's like I say, it's fit together. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together, but it's a real simple puzzle. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Freetown says you're looking to get one. Israel's in the house says, while that is better because of the clean cuts, that will help keep the temp more stable. Absolutely. That was the biggest thing when I decided to go ahead and make the kits available. Originally, I was kind of hesitant on doing it because I would have had to make all the cuts on my table saw, including these kind of cuts was kind of tricky to do on a table saw, but it wouldn't have looked professional. This looks really nice, like I say, and everything just fits together so nicely. When you order it and you go to put it together, like these 4 rails for this, they're going to all be taped together. So those 4 rails go in there. These 2 pieces will probably be taped with these because these are all the side rail pieces. The parts for the back that build your air chamber, they will all be, you know, taped together, so you know, okay, this little group of foam is the air chamber itself, including the back of it. You know, I might just put all these together, run thin tape around it. That way, you really can't mess it up, guys. You know, to me, it's pretty simple. So I think that's about it. I just wanted to put out a video. I was going to do a regular video, and I thought, you know what? I'll just go live. It's going to make it a lot easier, you know, for me and for you. That way, I don't have to do any editing. Let me see if we got any more questions over here. Amanda says, we would love the full kit, but either way is amazing, Terry. Thank you for making these. Yeah, absolutely. I've got enough right now for, I think, 5 or 6 boxes, and I'm not gonna you know, buy a bunch of foam and just have it sitting around until I know, you know, if people are gonna actually want to buy them. But I'm gonna make them available over on the Gulf Coast Quail website, which is gulfcoastquail.com. It'll probably start taking orders, if everything goes right, Monday. If I can get, you know, the pictures I need, I've got to kind of assemble a box. But anyhow, I want to get a bunch of pictures together so I can lay it out, you know, on the website so people know what they're getting. So if there's not any more questions, I will go ahead and cut this one short. We are going live tomorrow, guys, morning musings. If you're around at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, join us for morning musings. Kind of kick back, laid back, drink your coffee, and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, whether it's quail, honeybees, what you're doing, you know, in your yard, whatever, the weather. We come up with all kinds of crazy stuff. The morning musings is really nice because it's, you know, it's not topic related. You know, I don't have to worry about, you know, selecting people for prizes or giving away prizes or sponsors or any of that kind of stuff like I do on the regular live stream. Speaking of the regular live stream, we're going live Tuesday. I'm not sure what the date is on that. Tuesday, we will be announcing the winner of the Caturnix Kids Project. We will be, there's a couple other things I had. It's slipped my mind right now. I don't remember exactly what they were. But if you guys have any questions on the DIY box, or if you want to pre-order one, get your name on the list for a pre-order, like I said, email me at terry@caturnixcorner.com or message me over on Facebook Messenger, and I'll put your name on the list. That way you'll get one of the first batch that goes out. That's another thing that I'm waiting on. Monday, the earliest I'll be able to ship will be Wednesday of next week, mainly because I'm waiting on boxes. And I didn't even give you guys a price. It looks like it's going to be $135 for the kit plus shipping. And depending on where you are in the U.S., the shipping can range anywhere from $15 up to 30, you know, depending on where you're at. And that's mainly because of the box size that needs to be shipped. So keep that in mind, you know, when you're making a pre-order, that's what the cost is. You don't have to pay anything up front. Once you get your pre-order in, and I've got them on the website, you can just go over to the website, place your order, and I'll match that to my pre-order list. And if you're on that list, your incubator will go out, you know, be one of the first to go out. I think I got a few more questions in here. Oh, it's just Cherry's in the house, says hello. Yeah, I'll give it a couple more minutes, guys. If you've got any questions at all, go ahead and put them in the chat room, and we'll cover that real quick. I can't really think of anything else that, you know, I can tell you guys on this other than if you can't put this box together, I mean, assemble it, I mean, it's so simple, guys. It's easier than, like, if you were to buy a, you know, a coffee table or something, or an end table that needs assembling. This is 10 times easier than that. There's no screws, you know, that need to be run in. There's no, I mean, you can use screws if you want. Like, you know, for these rails, if you're worried about them and you want to figure out where they're at, you can run screws along the outside. The back piece, oh, I'm sorry, there is only one part that gets screwed on. This is the forced air chamber box on the back. Oops, wrong side. This is the forced air chamber box that goes there. That's glued in place, but this cover, it just takes 4 screws. But, you know, one on each side and then one top and bottom. And the reason you want to screw that on is if you need to access your fans or the wiring for the fans or whatever, or just cleaning out the air chamber, you can just pull those 4 screws out, pop the back off, and you're good to go. All right, well, I don't see any more questions over here. Andy Rabbit says, I wish I needed one. Yeah, you can get one if you, I mean, not everybody needs one, and I understand that. And I know a lot of people would much rather go out and purchase an incubator that's all together, that has all the parts. But I can tell you, and I'm not being, I'm not exaggerating on this. Yeah, it's a DIY box. Yeah, it's made out of foam, but I can tell you it does an amazing job. I've got a hatching time incubator. It's right along. Hatch rates are just as good with my box as the hatching time box. You know, it's actually beat out a couple GQF models, you know, that had issues, whether it was the incubator or the eggs or the operator, who knows. But for some reason, I got a bunch of bees flying in here, and I guess the forager is looking for, they must smell some of the frames over there. But anyhow, all right, guys, that's it, about it out of me. Like I say, if you got any questions, email me at terry@katurniscorner.com. If you want to put in a pre-order, email me or message me over on Facebook, and we'll get your name on the list. Or if you have any other questions, you know, go ahead and ask me there. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Yes, Israel, everything is pre-drilled, including, let me try to find the top. The ventilation holes are here on the top. Here's your heating element for the light bulb sockets. 2 ventilation holes on the top, and there's also ventilation holes on the sides. Exact placement where I've placed mine, and the exact same size where I placed mine. And when you guys get this box, you know, you get it built, you're going to have to tweak it a little bit. Depending on where you're at in the U.S. or wherever. I'm in Florida, humidity's always, you know, 50% or higher. So I don't have to do a whole lot as far as adding water to the incubator. Matter of fact, I don't add water at all until I go into lockdown. You may have to, you know, put a tray in the bottom of the incubator that fills up the whole bottom of the incubator, the largest tray that you can find, to get your humidity up high enough for lockdown. But I've always found, and I've worked with a lot of people, you know, over the years with their DIY boxes, and we've always worked out any issues that they may have had. And I am going to be available, you know, for you guys that buy the kits. I'll help you as far as any questions you might have as far as assembly or getting the incubator tweaked so it's working, you know, and ready to hatch eggs. So, all right, that's enough out of me about this. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, Morning Music. It's fun, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't make that, join us Tuesday for the regular Katurnis Corner Live. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a lot of interesting stuff. Like I say, the Katurnis Kids Project, some announcements as far as new sponsors. We always do our giveaways. So anyhow, enough out of me. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one.